Good everyone. I hope you have an amazing day. So in the last episode, I talked about how to expose a class as a REST service, right? The same way you can do with the SOAP, right? So you can do something like this, as you can see here. The only thing I just wanted to mention to you, right? All those SOAP services available. It's very flexible. You can do a lot of things with it, but you have to be very careful when to use the SOAP, right? Because SOAP is not mobile ready. If you wanted to interface this with a mobile app, I'm not really convinced that SOAP is a great option. You should stick with the rest. But for whatever reason, right, if you're interfacing with, say, a third-party system on a contract-based, uh, agreement where it supports only SOAP, and you wanted to build a SOAP, then yeah, this is the one way you can do it. But in my Salesforce career, I haven't used SOAP much because I don't have to use it. Most of the things you can get, most of the integrations you can do using a REST service, and it's pretty flexible. I like JSON more than XML. XML is okay, but it's just a clunky language, right? I mean, but that being said, right, if you wanted to build a SOAP, it's pretty much the same. Go to developer console, new Apex class, and just build it. And if you wanted to, and then yeah, your SOAP API is ready. So you can do the same with get post and whatever you wanted to do, right? So that's one of the thing, right? Now I wanted to today what I wanted to talk more about the REST API cheat sheet. So this is there available in Trailhead. I thought I might as well, talk about it. You guys might have seen it, right? It's pretty simple and pretty basic, right? The most common API operation you will do when you handle a REST call, right? I mean, it's not only limited to Salesforce. You can, build this in .NET technology or Java, Delphi, or other technology. And API REST API is the same. The concept's the same. It relies on HTTP verbs, right? But specifically on the Salesforce side, right? So when you create a record, so this is how we do it. I showed you how to do that, right, in the previous episode. So you normally do. This is how. If you look at the URL, right, pay special attention. So this is the instance, right? You might have, certain instance of the Salesforce.com, and then you have services, and this is a version number. It could be whatever version you have, and then S objects, then slash if you're dealing with an account. So you put account, and you're posting. You normally use the body, right, and then you put the JSON inside, and then say, for instance, I demonstrate, right. I just put the name, create an account. And if you wanted to delete a record, you need to get the record ID. So the URL is pretty much the same. You need to put the name of an S object. So if you're deleting an account, so you put account and ID of that account, it will delete it, right? So you don't have to put any information inside the body, right? So just put uh, just select the delete. You can do that using Postman, or you can do that using the code. Update is you use the patch, and it's pretty much the same like um, creating a record. The only difference is that you have to specify an ID, right? Because obviously, right, you need to tell Salesforce which ID you're trying to update an information for, right? You can't really just put something and say, oh, that's more like telling create a new entry. So, and you can use the field that appears like a JSON. Upsert, if you wanted to upsert it, you can do that, right? Describe global if you wanted to get. Say if you wanted to get the information of an account based on an ID, you can do that. Or if you wanted to get every account, you can do that as well, right? So this is most commonly used. And then you have the header. Header information is pretty handy. Obviously, if you are passing through the code, like for instance, if you're doing an auth settings, then you have to use, generally the header information is important. So you specify if it's a JSON, if it's a CSV, if it's a text, right? Authorization, right? What kind of authorization? If it's, like I talked about, accept, and on an auto signed call, query options. So the batch size, if you wanted to specify the batch size, if you wanted to specify the API usage limit, you can put that as well. And these are the HTTP methods. I would highly encourage you to go through it. I mean, you might get query, tested in exam, but not only from an exam point of view. Like I said, I'm not teaching this you guys from an exam point of view, but just from a real life scenario, how you can implement it, right? How you can use it when you are working in a for a project. Uh, so this is an example. curl command, you can use the curl statement. And these are the JSON what you can return, right? So, you can just have a read through it. I just thought I'll mention it, right? I mean, it's pretty handy. The same goes for a SOAP cheat sheet as well, so you can go through that as well. So we're gonna talk about the metadata part in the next episode. We are nearly, you know, reaching to an end for this PD1, PD2, sorry. And hopefully, before end of this month, I'll be able to finish it. Because, like I said, in December, I'm going to take a break for a month. I wanted to focus on deep learning mostly because I'm working on a new project. It's my own personal project. So as a part of a proof of concept to see if it's feasible, right? Just going to doing something with the nanotechnology and neural network. So yeah, exciting times ahead. Right. So that's pretty much I wanted to talk about in this episode. I hope you guys have an amazing Saturday. Adios.